Open houses seem like a simple concept, but if you look behind the scenes, there may be some things you haven't thought of before. Let's take a look. So I've hosted close to 100 open houses. I can't say I'm an expert, but I've done enough of them to kind of see the trends, and I've talked to enough agents to know where people's minds are at in terms of open houses. So let's start with the perspective of a seller. I think a lot of sellers will find that agents will tell them that open houses simply don't work, that the eventual buyer of their home is not going to walk through an open house, write up an offer, and close on it. Now, I can tell you from experience that that's simply not true. I have had a few experiences where somebody walks through an open house and they are the eventual buyer of the home. Now, is it the best way to sell your home and find buyers? Probably not. There are other more effective ways to find buyers, but that gets us to our next point, which is what's the harm of doing an open house? There are situations where a seller may just not feel comfortable having an open house, and that's totally fine. But if your agent right out of the gate starts telling you that they don't do open houses, you might want to dig into that a little deeper just to find out what's behind it. I know, I'm sure there's agents out there who don't want to be sitting at your house all weekend. They'd rather be out skiing, going to the beach, going to a concert. And so if they tell you they don't do open houses or that they don't work, I would just recommend asking them the reasoning behind that and see what they say. So as a seller, unless you have some kind of security issue, I think it's always good to have your agent hold an open house at least the first weekend that the home is on the market. You know, I've actually hosted a couple of open houses where somebody walks in with their agent and they say, hey, we were looking at the neighbor's house down the street, and since this was so convenient and it was open, we just decided to stop by. Lo and behold, they really liked the house and they wrote an offer. So again, I just don't think there's a lot of harm in holding an open house. So another thing you'll hear people say is that agents only do open houses to obtain buyer leads. Now, I will fully admit that open houses are a great source of leads for agents. I actually ran some numbers on my business recently, and I found that about half of the transactions I've done were somehow related to an open house that I did at one point. So yes, they can be really good for agents. However, that doesn't mean that it can't be mutually beneficial to a seller as well. The goal of any listing agent is to expose your property to the greatest number of people in the shortest amount of time. And I think open houses are just a piece of the puzzle. So you've got the MLS, which goes out to agents and it syndicates out to all those websites, you know, Zillow, Realtor.com, Redfin. You've got social media advertising. You can call your database direct, and then you've got open houses. And I think if all of those pieces are working in harmony, it'll increase the chance of your home selling quickly. Another side benefit of open houses is that your home is going to be shown in the best condition possible. So assumably when somebody's hosting an open house, you know, they're going to get there early, turn on the lights, open the windows, let in some fresh air, maybe light a candle, and the home is just going to be in pristine condition. If you leave the guesswork up to agents, some that maybe aren't doing their job in the best way possible are going to show up at the last second, barely turn on the lights, and the home just won't be shown in pristine condition. So that's just another side benefit of open houses. A second side benefit of having an open house is that the showings are just going to be concentrated into like a 2 or 3 hour window. If you didn't do that, you'd have showings maybe scattered all through the day, and you're going to have to leave your house, come back, leave again. So it just makes things a little bit less of a hassle if you're a seller. So when I first got into the business, I believed people when they said agents only do open houses for leads. How often is it that someone walks into an open house and is the buyer of the home? But obviously I've changed my mind over the years, and I just hope that these tips help sellers have conversations with agents when they're interviewing them, making sure that they're going to work hard and do the right things. And hopefully this also helps agents have conversations with sellers when they're in a competitive interview process and they're trying to explain what they're going to do that others might not. So hopefully this helps. If you enjoyed this video, give me a like and subscribe. I'm hoping to upload some more content soon. Thanks again for watching.